In today's video, we are covering everything what you need to teach your kids about money. Hello and welcome. My name is Peter B and I welcome you here at My First Million, where we are achieving our financial goals together. So, as a father of a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old, of course I'm thinking about what money concept should I teach my children? What should they pick up from me and what should they learn? Of course, as a father, I hope that my children will do well in life, not just financially, but in general. But as this is a personal finance related channel, of course, we are focusing now here on the money part, on the financial part of life. So I'm constantly thinking, what should I teach them? And what concept they need to be able to pick up. So once they are growing up and are leaving our house, they will be able to do very well, at least financially, in the marketplace out there and in life in general. And I'm sure for every other parent out there, this is exactly the same. They want to have the same for their kids. So now let's come to the topic. What do you need to teach your children about money? For this, let's take a quick look at the very fundamental basics of personal finance. So this is the wealth cycle. And you basically want to cover everything what you teach to your children about money. You want to make sure that you cover all areas of the wealth cycle, because the wealth cycle is showing us everything what we need to know in order to win financially in the long run. So we have earnings. If you subtract your spendings from your earnings, you will get the savings, and then you use your savings to invest. And if you're doing a good job in investing, you will be able to generate a rate of return, which will over time then boost your earnings again, or you will be even able to replace your earnings. So these are the 4 areas that you wanna also need to teach your children, so that they have knowledge and experience in all of those 4 areas: earnings, spendings, savings, and investing. So where should you start here? Ideally, you will think of your own personal journey, financial journey. Usually everyone is strong at some of those 4 areas and maybe not as strong in other of those 4 areas. So what you want to make sure for sure is that you teach your children the areas that you're very strong at. So if you're very good at earnings, teach them how you were able to build up a very good income and stable income and maybe earn more than others. If you're very good at keeping your finances under control and don't overspend, then teach them what are you doing to make sure that you will keep your budget and make sure that your money is not just flowing out your pocket. So you want to teach them whatever you're strong at. If you're good at savings, so this is usually a combination, either earning a lot or spending very little, or even doing both. Teach them how you're able to save more, to get up, to boost up a high savings rate. And if you're doing well in investing, also teach them there what you're exactly doing and why this helps you over time to improve your financial conditions. So this is the first aspect. Think of which of the 4 areas you are strong at and focus on this one especially, because the children will be able to pick up and see from your own life what really works for you well. And they will also realize, okay, my dad and my mom are talking about how to earn a lot. And they see, okay, they're really able to earn a lot. So this is the first area that you really want to focus on. Then the second area, also share your experiences with your children. Be open to talk about money. Whatever in all 4 areas, whatever works well. This could be good experience, but this also could be mistakes that you have made in the past. Whatever worked well for you, share this experience with the children. And also, whatever didn't went well in your life, share this with your children as well. For instance, if you take out some credit card debts in the past and you've had a lot of painful experiences to pay this off again. Share this experience with them. If you take out an unnecessary loan, also share this, why it was a mistake. If you purchase maybe a big ticket item, a car, maybe when you were younger, you take your money and bought a fancy car. But maybe once you're getting older and have children, you realize this money could have been spent on or invested into better deals. Just let them know about your experiences so that they also can learn from them as well. And maybe they will avoid making the same mistakes in the future. Then of course, whatever you're sharing with your kids, it needs to be age appropriate. So the younger they are, the more simplified concept you need to teach them. But even though my children are just 5 and 7, I realize they're already able to pick up the main concepts and ideas from my experiences, from my learnings and mistakes very well already. So I try to openly share every experience with them as well as possible. But sometimes you need to simplify things a little bit so that the children will understand what went well or what went wrong in all of those 4 areas. Then also what you want to be doing over time as they're growing up. You want to let them not just hear from your learnings, but also pick up some of their own experiences in all of the 4 areas. For instance, in earnings, over time, you can maybe help them or convince them or push them to have some side hustles, to have some side incomes. Maybe if they have usually like a Wednesday afternoon off, they could use that time to earn some money. Maybe as a young child, this is maybe a little bit too earlier, but if they start to be like a teenager, they could go to work for a few hours every week, or maybe during the weekend to boost their pocket money. They also could build up some high side hustles. I think the most common one is just to have the lemonade stand so that they get some sense of business. Or they could buy like a lawnmower and then asking the neighborhood around who is willing to pay them if they are regularly going to cut their lawns. So this could be some ideas. And then of course, if they're getting elder and elder, maybe still living at home, but maybe already start to become adults, you want to also convince them to think more into their career, plan their career, and help them how to plan their career for their future. And usually for career planning, there are 2 aspects you want to take into considerations when helping your child. On one side, you want to consider what are your children's strengths and what do they like a lot. So you want to take this into consideration. But then you also want to take this and help them to find a career path which also pays well enough in the future so that they don't need to struggle financially over time. And usually this doesn't need to contradict what they like and something that gets paid well in the industry. If you of course want to do something very specific, it can be contradicting. But if you broaden your horizon a little bit, you usually can find something that covers both what you like to do and also what pays well in the workspace or in a business that you will be able to build up. So this is over time what you want to teach the children about earnings. Then about spendings is the same. Maybe when they're younger, they just see you how you manage your money, how you consider whether or not you should purchase something. So they will learn from you directly. They might have some pocket money that they're getting from you or some Christmas gifts, or in Taiwan, the children here are usually for Chinese New Year getting a red envelope with money inside. So they also should be able to plan their spending well. What should they use their money for? And over time get more and more sophisticated to evaluate whether something is a good deal or is a good investment for and worth the money that you're spending on something. So this is also something you want to teach. And also, of course, the elder they get, maybe the focus will slightly shift there. And then to savings, this is again the money that they're having. At least what I see from my own experience and what works well for our children, we try to convince them to save nearly every penny that they get from somewhere. So if my kids are getting a red envelope, they are usually not considering to spending the money. They usually consider to put the money, to take the money and put it into a piggy bank. So both of them have a small piglet which they're feeding their money to. So if they're younger, you can make it like a game. If you get some money from someone, you can feed your pig, and it's more like a fun game. When they're getting older, it's more like a natural things for them that feeding your pig or like just putting the money in your piggy bank is a natural thing. And when when they're even getting older again, they might have their own bank account and put it into a savings account. And over time, you might be able to teach them that it's a wise decision to pay yourself first, and from every monthly paycheck that you're getting in the future, or in general from every paycheck, that you will allocate a specific amount towards savings accounts, so that it will not spend on anything. So that's a long-term goal of the savings bucket. And then also for investing, you also want to teach them that investing will be a very powerful and important tool to build up wealth, especially if you consider the concept of compounding interest. So the earlier the child really starts to invest and get the concept of regular investing and dollar cost averaging, the more powerful of a tool he or she will be able to build up over time and get the ball rolling. So if someone is very heavy in savings and investing in their 20s, that maybe could be making up for everything what they would be doing in their 30s and later if they would start out later. So the earlier you start investing, the more you can really benefit from the long time horizon. So you want to teach this your children. But the question is then also how to teach them. So for me, I have two aspects that I'm currently covering for our kids to get them familiar with investing. On one thing, when they're getting a gift, I would consider to give them a stock. For instance, for last Christmas, both of my children each of them got one Disney stock. And both of them really like Disney a lot. For my daughter, it's more about the Frozen movies. She really likes Elsa and Anna, the two princesses, or now queens in the Frozen movies. And for my son, he likes the superheroes that are all in the Marvel universe, and also he likes Buzz Lightyear since the last movie, Lightyear, from last summer. So he really likes this from Disney. So, and now as both of them own a stock from Disney, they know they are owner of the company. So every time they see something from Disney, they realize this is their own company who make this product, who produce the film, the movie, who was able to give a lot of pleasure to children, other children who went to go to a Disney theme park, or if they see someone running around in clothes which have some Disney IP on it, they also realize, okay, Winnie the Pooh is something that also came from their own company that they are owning now. And they know at the same time, or they learn at the same time, that they are also will be profiting if the company is doing well. So if you can find some stocks, some companies that they can relate to, they will be able to really grasp the sense of ownership if they're doing some investments. So this is the first area. And the second area, I also work with them together to take whatever they're saving and put their savings into investments, so that they also build up a good investment cycle, dollar cost average cycle already now at a young age. So whenever they're saving something, we are having a discussion whether or not they want to purchase, whether or not they want to put these savings into investments. And for starters, it's maybe very difficult to pick a very specific company or very specific investing opportunity. So for children, maybe the easiest approach is just to dollar cost average into a well-diversified index fund or an ETF. So usually what I will be doing with my kids is taking the money and putting them into well-diversified ETFs, which are covering the global stock market. So if the global stock market is doing well, but I will also let them know if the global stock market is in a recession or in a downturn, that their investments is coming down. So they already get this experience that investing doesn't mean always like a straight line up, but it's going through cycles. So they already have this feeling, and they know that this kind of cycles are normal. So this is the things that I'm doing with my children to teach them about investing. Do you also have kids? How are you teaching them about money? Please share with us in the comments below. And also, I might have been missing one or the other point that would be helpful for other parents out there. If I'm missing anything, also please share in the comments below. I hope we can learn from one another, and I hope we can win financially together, but also to build a path for our children to let them win financially in the future. Thanks a lot for joining me today. I look forward to see you in the next video, and I look forward to see you and your children winning financially.